Welk Triples Droids and Wookiees, it's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and I just realized my microphone is not hooked up right, so I hope that just fixed it. But anyways, everyone, I just watched the latest episode of The Mandalorian, Season 2, but they call it chapters, so it's Season 2, Chapter 14. Now, I don't really do reviews of this show, just because I frankly don't care enough about the show. I love Baby Yoda, obviously. I got the statue of him right behind me. But as far as the overview of this show, it isn't really up to par with what I would consider Star Wars. And you got to understand, for people that think that this is the bestest thing ever since sliced bread, I hold Star Wars to the highest standard possible because I base everything off of the original trilogy. And so that is the standards that I hold everything that calls itself Star Wars up to. And after Disney's sequel trilogy, fan fiction wannabe sequel trilogy, it's just after that FU, I don't really think it's worth my time. That being said, I love Baby Yoda. I will buy Baby Yoda merchandise because I love it, and when they do something right that I like, I will support it. But as far as this show, I'm fine with a TV show and the main character is a completely incompetent idiot if the point of the show is, comedy, or to, show that the main character is an idiot and incompetent and the other characters have to work around it. But no, the way that this show is presented is that it's this serious Western Star Wars show, and Mando, he is supposed to be, the badass, the biggest baddest, excuse me, bounty hunter out there, but he's completely incompetent. I don't have children, but I know you don't leave a baby alone in the car. You don't leave a baby with strangers. And every single episode, the situations that Mando gets into, it's like, if I can figure it out. I'm not an outer space bounty hunter from, a Mandalorian line. I'm just a regular human person that sits in my hobbit hole and paints all day. So for me to sit there and think of 10 different solutions to this problem, the second that the problem is presented to me, and the Mandalorian can't think of one, that takes me out of the viewing experience. I could not stand season 1. That being said, I love Baby Yoda. If Baby Yoda was just in a playpen with a rattle, I could watch that. There's a TV show on Animal Planet called Too Cute, which just is, little baby animals from the time that they're born to the time that they go off and find new homes. If there was a show just basically about Baby Yoda using the Force in a playpen, I would watch that all day, every day, because he is so cute. But this entire show, it's just, I see that they're trying. They are trying. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are trying. But at that point, we have to understand that there's the issue with the participation trophies, right? And before, you would play, kids used to play sports, and the team that was the best won. And then they got rid of that because they didn't want to hurt all the other kids' feelings. So they started this thing called participation trophies. So everyone, if you participate, you get a trophy. And I feel like that's what The Mandalorian is. It's just, you did it. You're not saying F you to our faces, as deliberately as the sequel trilogy did. You guys are trying, so that way we're going to give you a participation trophy, and if you don't like it, you are the worst thing ever. I watched what happened. I'm a huge fan of Robot Head, and I remember when Robot Head put his Mando video out, and I was like, yes, thank you, because I felt everyone that I kind of knew was like, oh my God, Mando's the best, and I'm like, I hated it from the very first episode. And I'm like, this is not good. It kind of started, once he got the blue guy on the ship and he wasn't speaking, he was just this mysterious character, and it kind of seemed like a horror film. And, the blue guy's going down, he's going through the stuff, then he finds everyone frozen in carbonite. Mando's behind him, and then all of a sudden he's in carbonite. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to get to see a show from the point of view of more of a villain type of character. I'm down. I'm totally down for this. And then it just completely derailed after that. And even before that, when he shows up to the bar, I'm like, I've been remodeling, me and my boyfriend, we've been remodeling the house. And I'm like, that was at Lowe's. That's in aisle 10 at Home Depot. When I'm just looking at that, that cantina on the edge of nowhere in some random planet. And I'm like, I just saw those handles at, Home Depot. It completely takes me out of the viewing experience. And people can say, oh, Anna, that's nitpick. But I mean, if something takes you out of the viewing experience, I wouldn't say that that's a nitpick, because it's taking you out of being immersed in this universe. And from the very first episode, that's what I got. So to get onto this episode specifically, starts off, well, maybe what I should do is just kind of go on a little list of things that happen. And yes, this is going to be completely spoiler-filled reviews. So if you don't want any spoilers, I mean, maybe don't just tune out, watch this later after the episode is up. And let me make sure that everything is okay over on this end. It is 165 people watching. Thank you so much. Smash the like button. Let me tweet it. Did I tweet it out? I'm pretty sure I tweeted it out. Here we go. All right, just to make sure. I'm sure I did. I'm just not 100% sure. So there we go. All right. So my I shouldn't say nitpicks on this episode. The things that I did not like in this episode was, and actually more so presented in the last episode, was that Ahsoka was introduced, and you know her Laku were too short. And people were like, wait, something's don't translate from animation to live action. It's like, all right, what about every single Twi'lek ever that's been in Star Wars? George Lucas's daughter was a Twi'lek in Star Wars. Her Laku are longer than Ahsoka's. Yes, Ahsoka is not the same species, but still, that's like saying an adult is still losing their teeth. It's just, if that is going to be part of, if you're going to present an alien. And also, there you go. There's another thing. Okay, why was, Ridley Scott able to do Alien? I mean, that big old xenomorph head doesn't look like it's the most easy thing to do action scenes in, does it? Oh my gosh, but guess what? They did. So don't even fucking bitch if you're like, give me this excuse that, oh, her Laku are too long for her to do action scenes. That's like this. Okay, so if I braid my hair, is that going to be too long for me to do action scenes? No, shut the fuck up. Go look at the shit that the women have to wear and, do their hair in different styles. And for Vikings, you can make a longer headdress and still do action scenes. So give me a fucking break. But so, in that episode, Ahsoka, that's basically, we're going to have an Ahsoka spinoff show. Great, cool beans. Here's Ahsoka. Everyone loves Ahsoka. She said Thrawn's name, which is exactly what happened in the end of Rebels. So I don't know why anyone was really shocked by that, was that Rebels ended with Ahsoka and Sabine going to go find Ezra and Thrawn. So, oh, big shocker. They said Thrawn. Well, I was like, oh, cool. We're actually going to get to see Thrawn in live action. I'm totally down for that. Please don't butcher him. Do not let Dave Filoni in charge of any of that, because we saw what happened in Rebels. But so, you got to bring up Tython. She says, go to Tython, put Baby Yoda on the Seeing Stone, and other Jedis are going to come and find him, if there are any. It's like, do you not understand? There's not just Jedi in the universe. Ahsoka Tano should know better than anyone, considering she's like, I'm not going to train him because I know what happens. It's like, then wouldn't you be the best person for the job, since you know what happens? You have seen what happens to somebody when they have attachments, when they know love. Anakin fucking Skywalker. So wouldn't you be the best person for the job to see the warning signs and to be able to prevent that and to teach Baby Yoda, hey, Baby Yoda, this is what happened to my master. He kind of turned into a psychopath and killed everyone. You should remember, because you were fucking there and they had to smuggle you out. So let me teach you as to why to not do those things and why the giving into your anger is wrong. She would be the best person to teach Baby Yoda, but no, she doesn't want to do it because she's going to have her own TV show, and they don't want to take Baby Yoda away from Mando, because nobody would watch Mandalorian if Baby Yoda wasn't on it. So he's got to go to Tython. Now me, I'm like, oh, Tython, I know that planet, because even though it's not canon anymore, I read the Darth Bane trilogy. And in the Darth Bane trilogy, one of the big plot points in the second book is that Darth Bane wants to learn how to build a holocron. And so for those of you that are not familiar with what holocrons are, is that holocrons are, if it's a Sith, it's like a pyramid. And if it's a Jedi, they're, like the cubes. And so it's a way for them to store information. And I mean, if you're familiar with Star Wars, the Star Wars universe, you played the games, you know exactly what a holocron is. But just for anyone that doesn't, and puts out a hologram, and it's like, here's Darth Revan's hologram, and Darth Revan's like going to speak to you like you're his student, and he's going to teach you the ways of the Force that he believes in. So Darth Bane in the Darth Bane trilogy wanted to create a holocron, not only so he could pass on what he learned, but he also wanted access to other holocrons so he could learn, because that's how he did learn. He had Darth Revan's holocron. And so he's obsessed with learning how to make a holocron. But the way to do that is to go to Tython. So for those of you that don't know much about Tython, Tython was the planet where the Force users were. And the Sith took it over at one point. But the problem with Tython, and it's, such a, Force, like that's where all the Force users seem to be drawn at one point in time in the Star Wars universe, is to Tython. So think about Tython. If you look at the galaxy, and I have a map pulled up because I was doing some things before I started the stream. So if you go to Tython, let me get up here. So you have the universe, right? And the way that our universe, the way that, as far as I can remember from the over decades ago when I was in it's freaking science class, at least for our galaxy, in the center is supposed to be a black hole, right? But so in Star Wars, from what they described it in the Darth Bane trilogy, was in the center of the universe. And also Ryan Johnson fucked this up too. So hyperspace lanes were a thing. It's kind of like, okay, remember when Han Solo says, we can't just jump to hyperspace. We have to have the computer plot a course through hyperspace so that way we don't run into a supernova or crash into an asteroid. So the computer has to plot a way for the ship to travel through space at light speed, so that way it doesn't hit anything, so that way it doesn't go into a black hole, doesn't, go through the center of a supernova, a star exploding, doesn't run into a planet or an asteroid. So if you are, let's say you're traveling from Tatooine to Coruscant. So there is probably a very, there might be some paths to get there. So those are called like hyperspace routes. And so in Darth Bane Book 2, one of the things that Darth Zana has to do, because she has Force sorcery, is that she has to disguise herself and, suppress the dark side energy that she puts off since she's a Sith. She has to go into Coruscant, go into the Jedi Temple, go into the Jedi archives, and get the old path to Tython, because Tython is in the innermost core worlds. And the problem with being in one of the center of the galaxy is that the hyperspace lanes are very unstable. So even if you do have a hyperspace route, that route might not actually be useful. And the thing with the ship's computers is that the center of space is not, it's not stable. So even though if the ship's computer is trying to plot a course, it can create complications and stuff like that. So it's not, even for us with GPS, sometimes our GPS just can't take us somewhere. It can't find places. And so that would be the best equivalent from our universe that I could explain for the way that the innermost core worlds are. And so this is where Tython is all the way down. And let me see, did I zoom in more? Okay, that's a different map. So you can't really read it. I tried zooming in. I was looking at all these different maps. I don't even know which one is the most canon. But so Tython is right here. So as you can see, that's like one of the innermost planets in the core world. So this is supposed to be like a lost world. And that was even back when Darth Bane was happening. Years and years and years, hundreds of years before the Phantom Menace happened. So all the way back then. And I asked, because I'm like, I'm not too up to date on Disney wannabe canon. So I asked, one of my friends that knows all this stuff, Ryan Canal. If you haven't, go check out his channel, go do so. He is very well versed on Star Wars EU. And so I messaged him and I was like, hey, dude, I'm pretty fucking sure that Tython is extremely hard to get to, and you can't just plug it into fucking Alexa and Alexa can tell you where to go. It's really hard to do, right? And then, we talked about how the original EU, yes, it is. Darth Zana had to fucking break in to the Jedi archives on Coruscant, had to mask all this, had to, basically hack into the Jedi system to find it because it was protected. And it's like, it's not a common place for you guys, for people to find. It's like, hey, let's just go and try to find the Fountain of Youth in fucking Florida when we're conquistadors. It's not easy. It's a very difficult place to find. And so in the new Disney Star Wars canon, which I use that term very loosely, Tython, I guess my memory serves me correctly, what Ryan told me was that Darth Vader was looking for Tython and he had to have some old admiral dig up the files for him. So I was like, oh, so it's kind of similar to what Darzana had to do. You had to go find the information. You can't just plug it into the ship's computer and go to the planet. But guess what Mando does? Oh, look, there's Mando. And yes, I'm logged into my my friend's Disney Plus account. So we got Baby Yoda and Mando playing with the ball. But what happens? Oh my God, how fucking convenient. He just goes to Tython. He's just there. He's just at Tython. He just finds the stone immediately. Immediately, he just gets to Tython. And then later on in the episode, they're like, the one chick, where is she? Like when the bad guys take Baby Yoda, and she's like, oh, but I thought it's the Empire. The Empire is still around. Which, yeah, in the Thrawn trilogy, the Empire is still around, and it is being ran by Thrawn because he is the last. He was the Grand Admiral Thrawn. He was after Emperor, after Vader. It's like you go down the chain of command, it'd be Thrawn, so he'd be in charge of the remnants of the Empire. But then she makes a very clear line where she says, I thought the New Republic was in charge of the Outer Rim planets. And I'm like, are you fucking retarded? Tython is in the center of the fucking galaxy. It's not an Outer Rim planet. Dave Filoni is supposed to be the expert on Star Wars lore. How the fuck do you not know that? It takes 2 seconds of research. Just look, Star Wars galaxy map, Tython. It's in the middle of the fucking galaxy. 2 seconds to type it. It took me a little bit longer because I can't type with these stupid nails and they won't fucking come off. So I have to use my knuckles. 2 fucking seconds to Google this and you can find out where Tython is. But no, now all of a sudden Tython moved from the middle of the fucking galaxy to the Outer Rim. My brain. It hurts. They want to say, oh, we want, this is one thing that blows my mind. We want more girls in Star Wars. We want more girls in Star Wars. And I don't usually get this way, but I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking girl and I knew this shit. How many, I know a lot of girls that know this shit, but I mean, go to fucking, I don't know, the Best Buy and go to the Star Wars game section or go to GameStop if there are any around you. It's almost impossible to find them around me. But go to fucking GameStop. Go at GameStop. It might be a little bit more easy to find a girl there. But okay, go somewhere. Somebody in a Star Wars. You can go to a bunch of guys and ask them. I'm guarantee you, if you ask 10 guys about it that do know this nerdy stuff, they will tell you where Tython is and they will know where it is. Go ask 10 girls. Probably not. I know that might be a little bit of, a reach, but it's just so frustrating when you know these things. It's like saying, oh, hey, yeah, we're going to go to the capital of the United States. And then they fly to Washington State, not Washington, D.C. It's like, do you not understand? So again, if it takes you out of the episode, I think it is a valid complaint. Took me out of the episode, the fact that he just shows up. He just shows up on Tython. It's like, all right, fucking cool. Also, they filmed this in California. This looks like every fucking state park. Actually, I'm down in Southern California. You can find places that look like this up in Northern California too, if you drive a little bit more north, like towards Redding. But if you get stuff like this and like just like bushes and stuff like this is filmed more closely in Southern California. I mean, even driving along the 5, you can see places like this as long as you go over the foothills and you're not where all the cows are. But wait, Tython is still in the deep core. You can look it up in Wikipedia. That is my fucking point. It takes 2 seconds of research. In this episode, she clearly states they are in the Outer Rim. They shouldn't be able to get there. In this episode, it should have been a whole episode of him trying to find the map to get to Tython. Tython is not an easy place to get to. It's so frustrating. You get it. You get it. See? Exactly my point. You guys in the chat know. You in the chat know, but apparently when they were writing the fucking dialogue for this episode, they didn't know where they were in the galaxy. And if you're telling me this assassin chick that's working with where is it? This chick that's working with Boba Fett. Okay, wrong way. This is not easy to navigate. Okay, where is she? Oh yeah, but okay. Nope, don't play, please. Okay, this chick, the assassin chick that somehow survived. Oh yeah, the Force wills it, whatever, galaxy, fate, whatever. So somehow he survived Sarlacc pit. Somehow she survived getting shot. And they're all together. Then they're going to be this little misfit crew of people that miraculously survive for whatever fucking reason. Also, where the fuck was the jetpack? Baby Yoda gets taken by the freaking troopers. You have a fucking jetpack, Mando. What are you doing? Remember earlier, like a few episodes ago, when the assassins were trying to kill Baby Yoda, and the one assassin's holding a knife up to Baby Yoda's throat, and then he's just like, oh yeah, take whatever you want. I'll give you whatever you want. Just don't hurt the baby. And you can't have the armor. Also, you can't have the armor. So he wanted the jetpack. And so then he gives him the jetpack. Then he just pushes the buttons, and it sends the person offline. He gets the jetpack back. Remember that whole plot point? Did they forget about it? Boba's wearing a jetpack. Did everyone else forget about the jetpack? He forgot the jetpack. Okay. My name is spelled with 2 N's. Says it right there. But also, that would be very important information to put in the episode. I'm not just going to assume she's like, oh, hey, by the way, I know the coordinates for fucking Tython. If this happens in a later episode and they clarify it, I'll 100% say, all right, I kind of overreacted. But right now, as of right now, how would she know? This was guarded information. Not all Jedi are just like, oh, hey, everyone, you're a Jedi? Here's the information to Tython. Especially a Jedi that left the Jedi Order early and didn't finish her training. So, no. What? Why are you guys screaming my name? Show up on a jetpack, Anna? What? Did I miss something? Maybe he lost the jetpack now? What a huge plot hole. Thank you. I see somebody sent me a super chat. Let me go back and read it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of in rant mode. I'm not happy about this. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, what's up, Captain Chokeout? I believe I made my feelings clear on the show this morning, and this imbecile effort just further confirms what I said. Also, where it was shot looks somewhat where a fan film was. Okay, that's exactly what I was getting into, Captain Chokeout. So, let me try to see if I can kind of explain the geography of Southern California. So Northern California is kind of a longer state, right? And they filmed this in California. So you got Northern California, then you have these 2 freeways that lead down to Southern California, and then there's this range of mountains that are called the Grapevine. And you have to go through these mountains, and then you will enter, LA, and then you go a little bit further, and then there's Orange County, and then there's, or you have the coast on this side, and then over here there's these other mountains, and you go over the mountains to this area where Lake Elsinore is, and then you get to Temecula where the hills are, and that's where they have the vineyards and stuff. So this area that they filmed looks an awful lot like that. It looks like over here, this is what if you were driving through either the hills outside of Orange County or Los Angeles, or you're driving through Orange County to get over to like the Temecula area. That's where this looks like it was filmed. It went this. Okay, I was on set for Star Wars Theory's Darth Vader fan film. That fan film and the way that they shot it, the way that they even like when they're supposed to be on Naboo, that was up in Pasadena. Or yeah, was it in Pasadena? Yes. It was in this mausoleum at the cemetery where it was supposed to be, Vader going to go see where Padme was buried. That was supposed to be Naboo. I was there. I was in it. Actually, I think like at 11 minutes and 59 seconds, you see my elbow because I was up like on the top of the mausoleum place drawing. And so just the way that looks compared to this, I'm like, Star Wars Theory had to use his like Patreon money to fund that. He couldn't crowdfund it or anything. And that production value looks so much better than this entire fight scene. And I was super disappointed because I absolutely love Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. And Robert Rodriguez was the director of this episode. But I'm like, at least this is an alien planet. This isn't supposed to be Earth. This looks like a fan film where they're just like, okay, everyone that we're going to get the 501st, everyone that cosplays, we're all going to put our cosplay and we're going to shoot and we're going to run through the rocks. That's exactly what this looked like. Like, what is this? I could shoot this on my iPhone and it would look exactly the same. Like, at least put a fucking filter over it because we're on an alien planet. This looks like Southern California. It looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. So, and again, that takes me out of the experience. It was filmed in New York? Really? Well, the New York looks an awful like California. Like, you know what I should do? I should just drive out to like a location that would look exactly like this and just say, hey, and I don't know, have a couple of my action figures and put them out on the rocks. Okay, you disagree about the action. Okay, but here's the thing. Again, I love Robert Rodriguez movies. I absolutely adore Sin City. I grew up watching freaking Spy Kids. I really enjoy his movies. Wait, what? Hi, Cecil. This is not what I wanted from Star Wars the whole time. Again, like I said, everyone, I hold things up to the standards of the original trilogy. That is the gold standard that I am holding this up to. This doesn't even come close. It is an effort, but this is on the level of fan film. It's just it's not there yet. This is not like, you can't freaking convince me that this costs millions of dollars unless the entire budget is going to Gina Carano and freaking what's his face Mando dude. Snow Clams, thank you for super chat. Yo, first super chat here from EFAP. Oh, well, hello. I'm glad they didn't Lukeify Boba. But man, if Boba telling Mando to take off the jetpack didn't feel random and obvious, yeah, it's frustrating. And then Corey Christensen, thank you for the super chat, even though you didn't say anything. Ace Moic, thank you for super chat. Shows started similar to Lone Wolf and Cub, but loves to go Seven Samurai towards the end of the season. You know, I just it's not even that. It's like when you are used to buying things from, I don't know, when you go to the grocery store and you buy products from the grocery store and then, you know, you don't have the same, I don't know, maybe you get laid off and you have a smaller paycheck, so you got to go to like the dollar store, the 99-cent store to get your produce. The quality is just not even close. Hello, Cecil, thank you for the super chat. Ever look over for your sunglasses, but they were on top of your head the whole time? It happens. People forget about jetpacks all the time, Anna. Oh, Lordy. Thank you for the super chat, though, Cecil. It's just, everything in this is just so frustrating. But then you get to the end, and there's just little. This is why they won't take Baby Yoda and give him to Ahsoka, even though she is the most obvious choice for the teacher. She is the best suited one for the job. And I think I was trying to make this point earlier, but I got distracted. Okay, you want to take the Munchkin to the Scene Stone, and you put him on the Scene Stone. He uses the Force. It's going to connect with other Jedi. What's on the other side of the stone? Sith are going to feel his presence too. So you just alerted Baby Yoda to any Sith that is out there. And Ahsoka already knows that he is not, he's going down a dangerous path. He's going down the path that Anakin did, where he has bonds. And, you know, he looks up to Mando like he's his father. That's a dangerous bond to have, and that can lead to the dark side. Ahsoka knows this better than anyone. And what does she say? Yeah, just go take him to the stone, and a Jedi will find him. A Jedi will find him. It's like, don't you know that there's probably a fucking Sith out there that's looking for an apprentice that, might just like the fact that this is a little impressionable baby that already is using dark side abilities, or, you know, tapping into their, you know, their anger to power their Force abilities, which is a path that leads to the dark side. You would know this, Ahsoka, better than anyone. But yeah, take Baby Yoda to the fucking rock. Go alert any Force-sensitive user of his presence. Ahsoka knows that there are like Force assassins and Inquisitors out there because we saw them in fucking Rebels. So let's just alert all the Force-sensitive people to the baby in the galaxy instead of, hey, Ahsoka, you're not really doing much except for looking for Thrawn. Wouldn't it be smart to take this baby and teach him while you're on this mission? And teach him, hey, Baby Yoda, don't do that. Let me show you what happens. Remember when you were smuggled out of the Jedi Temple and all of your friends fucking died and got murdered? That's what happens when you do the shit that you do. So don't do that, Baby Yoda. Bad Baby Yoda. You would think that would be the most logical thing to do. But no, fuck it. We need Baby Yoda for this show. Ahsoka's gonna go have her own show. We need to keep that. It doesn't matter about making sense. Doesn't matter about logical course of actions. This is what we need to do because we need to keep people's butts in the seats and paying for shit for Mandalorian. Even though, I mean, you could really, if Baby Yoda wasn't there and it was just Mando passing Baby Yoda off to Ahsoka has her spinoff show where she's teaching Baby Yoda, looking for Thrawn with Sabine, and you have Boba Fett. You got Boba Fett, you got, excuse me, I'm getting the hiccups. You got Mando, and then you got Bo-Katan, and they're rebuilding the Mandalorian, society and world, and they're reteaching Mando about what it is to be a Mando, not this, sick, twisted faction that he's in, that, they're very like, by the book, you can't take off your helmet because we're gonna do this impression into you and whatnot. That would be interesting. And then rebuilding Mandalore and him learning about the Mandalorian culture. And you can have crossover episodes where Ahsoka and Baby Yoda come back and see Mando, and he sees Baby Yoda as he's evolving in his training. That to me would be the most logical course of action. But nope. We're going to have an Ahsoka spinoff, and Baby Yoda's going to stay with Mando because whatever, fucking lack thereof logic. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so see, he's got the jetpack there. Doesn't Boba Fett tell him to take it off at some point in this episode? Okay, we got Boba Fett back also. And then he does the thing. They shoot the bad guys. It's like, again, just put a filter over it. It's not that hard. Like, it's some kind of filter. The sun is different. It shouldn't look like this was filmed on Earth. It really shouldn't. All right. Where is it? Okay. So we got them. They're like, all right, we owe you a debt. We're going to help you. Also, I laughed. I'm not going to lie. When he's sitting there in the armor and you can just see he's in, actor's a little bit older now. He's kind of got a dad bod. And you see Boba Fett just standing there, and you see like the little Boba Fett belly while he's standing there in the armor on the rocks. And I was like, oh God. Oh my goodness. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I could watch it. No, he tired. He used a force. It's so cute. And I like how also Tython is supposed to be covered in Jedi temples and, Sith temples and stuff like that. Because, the Sith at one point took it over. And then there are these, if you guys ever watched Stargate SG-1, and oh my God, they're not, are they called replicators or replicants? They're the little bug-like robots that take over the planet. They kind of had something like that on Tython because there was this one Sith Lord, and she created them, and it was kind of like her undoing, and then it took over the planet. So Tython is supposed to be crawling with those as well. Just FYI, Tython is not just this lush, beautiful planet that has these nice ruins, and so conveniently there's a temple with a rock on the top of it that he just happened to find. There's Jedi temples that the Sith took over, and then the whole planet fell. Yes. Okay, replicators. Yes, from SG-1. So it's kind of, that's the best way that I can explain that that's what happened on Tython. And so it's supposed to be covered in temples and stuff. Even if you go and look at SWOTOR and you go look at Tython and you see all the Jedi temples and when the Jedis are there back, before Tython fell, before the Sith, and then, they got infested with, these little kind of like replicators that I'm blanking on her name. Maybe somebody in the chat can let me know. But it was this one Sith Lord, and she created them, and it was her undoing it. If you read the Darth Bane books, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But so even this isn't right. It's just not. And it's so disappointing. And it takes me out immediately from all of this. And it's just, I mean, I know that they're trying, but again, with the participation trophies, that killed it for sports. If you give everyone a trophy, then nobody's going to work hard. So this is a participation trophy. It's like, oh my God, they're trying. Little Timmy is trying. He almost made the goal. He didn't make the goal. We're going to take away the score, or, you know, the score. So that way one team isn't winning over the other one. So it doesn't make all the kids feel bad. So we're just going to give everyone participation trophies. So guess what, Mando? You get a participation trophy because you tried. Even though how many things have I, just gone over that they've gotten wrong? Just about the planet. And the entire concept of what this episode was, it's so absolutely infuriating. And I mean, this isn't even me going, with my encyclopedia knowledge of it. I'm like, this is something that I know if I really wanted to, I can go up and Google and I can say, what was the one Sith Lord chick that created these replicator ash things on Tython and this stuff that was referenced in the Darth Bane book? And I can go and find it. But just going off of my memory, I can think, I know these things. Dave Filoni is supposed to be, he's, he's supposed to be the lore expert. Him and what's his face? Pablo Hidalgo, who we don't even mention anymore because he's a complete imbecile. But they're supposed to be the lore experts. And I'm like, even I know this shit. I'm not a professional working at Lucasfilms on Star Wars lore. This is just the shit that I've learned throughout the, course of my life being a Star Wars fan. And I know this shit. Come on. That you shouldn't have this many mistakes. This is a participation trophy. If it was me and Dave Filoni and we're sitting here having a conversation about Tython, if they would be keeping score, I'm pretty sure I could hold my own and I wouldn't need a participation trophy to get this. If I'm being able to realize, see this stuff just by this without having to do any research, just based on the knowledge that I had prior to watching this episode. It's absolutely infuriating. So I saw people going, this is the bestest episode ever. And then I saw, I think it was Anomaly Inc. that posted on Twitter. He's like, this is one of the worst episodes. And then I saw a couple other people saying that this was a bad episode, but it seems pretty mixed. So again, I think it's a lot of people that were just so spurned by the sequel trilogy that they're finally getting something okay, that, they're trying. They are trying. I will give them that. But again, it's a participation trophy. This is not, you're winning the soccer game, Timmy. This is, you tried, Timmy. You missed the goal. The goal was over there and you kicked that way, but you tried. So here you go. I'm not for participation trophies. I think that takes away any type of goals, or you won't put the extra effort in if you know what I mean. But anyways, let's see. What is this? Desert Fox 2000, thank you for that's not a super chat, but just regular chat. So thank you for contributing to the chat. You really think you can better than Filoni and Favreau? There's more to making a show than getting every canon detail right. I know that. I went to college and I studied that. I'm saying that this is the point that I'm saying. I'm not saying that I know more about this than they do. I'm saying the fact that they were able to miss this. And again, this is like, oh yeah, let's go to the United States of America. Let's go to the Capitol. Let's go to Washington, D.C. And they fly to Washington State instead of West Virginia and go to where actual Washington, D.C. is. It's a pretty big thing to miss. And so I would think, again, yeah, there is a lot to going into making a TV show and making sure that, you get every tiny little canon detail right. Because there's been sometimes, like, okay, for example, one of my favorite shows is Frasier. In season 1, one of the things that Marty says to Niles and Frasier is that he says that, oh, well, I never had a brother. And so you guys, stop fighting. I never had a brother. You guys don't know how good it is to have a brother. Then seasons later, he has a brother that he hasn't seen in 5 years because Frasier did something. And the whole plot of the episode is that Frasier gave the nephew wrong, bad advice. So instead of going to school to become a doctor, he became a juggler and basically like a hobo that just juggles on the street for money. And so even though, the show is almost perfect. There's just tiny little details that they missed because either they needed a plot for that episode, or, they just simply forgot that, oh yeah, years and years ago in season 1, we said that Marty didn't have a brother. So it's little things like that that are, just little oversights that it's like, oh shit, going back, because I had forgotten. I remember the first time I watched it, I had forgotten that Marty had said that he didn't have a brother. When I went back and watched the series the second time, then I was like, oh shit, but he says, like, specifically in this episode he doesn't have a brother, but I know because I've seen the entire series that, in season 5 or 6, that's a plot of an episode, is that he hasn't seen his brother, and so he's mad at Frasier because Frasier's the reason why he hasn't seen his brother, because he pissed off his brother's wife. So it's little things like that that's like, okay, that's a legit oversight. But so when you're writing a TV show, and it takes a lot of money and time and work to make a TV show like this happen. So when you have all of these people that, literally billions of dollars are invested in, and you're sitting there like, okay, this is the plot for the episode. We have to book the venue. We have to make sure that all of the cameras are rented, right? At this point, I think Disney basically owns all of them. So we have to make sure all of the equipment's going to be there. We have to get the cast and the crew. We have to sign them up. We have to get everything. We have to get caterers for the cast and the crew that are going to be there. And there are different people that are in charge of different things. And Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have people that do all of that. So that way they just say, okay, somebody shows up with scouting locations. Okay, yeah, that one will work. That one will work. Okay, that's where we're going to do it. And then they have people that go and get the caterers. They have assistants that go and hire all of the camera crew. And, they are in charge of the big decisions. So you would think with people that are taking care of all of the other stuff, all the minute little details, that they would have time to sit there and write out an episode and they're supposed to be, lore and canon experts, right? Dave Filoni is, at least. Wouldn't you think that something as simple as knowing one of the most important Jedi planets in all of Star Wars lore, wouldn't you remember where it is, what's on it, what happened there, why it's important, why the Scene Stone is on Tython? He obviously thought of it, because that's where they went. That's where the episode is going. So wouldn't you think they would remember what Tython looks like? Where are all the Jedi temples? Why is the Scene Stone important? What about all the replicators that are on the planet? All of the lore behind this planet, wouldn't you remember that? You see, when you put it that way, it's not the littlest thing, right? It's really not. So, when somebody says, oh, this is a nitpick, but no, when you actually look at it, the way that they have to plan this out and do this kind of thing, it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, well, yeah, Spock's a Vulcan, he's got to go to Vulcan because it's Pon farr time. And then they make Vulcan this lush green jungle planet when it's like, no. Vulcan is like basically a fucking desert. It's a mountainous desert planet. And, that's why Vulcans, they can deal with the the lower atmosphere and the higher temperatures, because that's the way Vulcans are. And, Captain Kirk's got to get a stimulant so that way he can, adapt to, the different type of atmosphere, because he's not used to breathing that, whereas Spock is. It's like, it's little things like that get introduced in the original, series. But then let's say you go into the Next Generation, and then all of a sudden in the Next Generation, you got to go to Vulcan, and Vulcan's a jungle planet. It's like somebody like me is like, wait, that doesn't make sense, because I know this because this came before it, and this, was, canon. And somebody even said, if you go to Wikipedia, as of now, as of Disney canon, Tython is still in the middle, is one of the central core worlds. But even in this episode, they make a very blatant statement about how they are in the Outer Rim. Those I don't think are nitpicks. Those are actual plot holes that they created that they shouldn't. These things shouldn't be overlooked. And this is one of those things where, if you are, let's say your dad needs to have a brain, your dad has a brain tumor, right? And you need to get this brain tumor cut out. You're not going to go to the person that's like, oh yeah, I studied that in college. Yeah, I know about brain tumors. That's the front, that's the left side, that's the right side, that's the frontal lobe, that's the cerebellum, that's where the spinal cord connects. I can totally do that. You're not going to go to the person that, responds to it like that. You're going to go and find the person with the most experience in the field that knows and has done for years, knows how to take out brain tumors. So Dave Filoni is the one that's presenting himself like, I'm this expert. I worked with George, even though he specifically says, oh yeah, George on the Ahsoka should have died team, but I'm not going to do what George said, even though George freaking invented Star Wars and I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for George fucking Lucas. But I like Ahsoka, so I'm going to keep her alive. It's like right there, he doesn't even respect it because he's more interested in his own personal feelings and the things that he gets to gain from it than the actual, story. So that should tell you something about the person right there. You can be as attached to a character as you want, but this is one thing that a lot of artists have a problem with, is that you need to understand that you can't be emotionally attached to your art. You have to be able to, disassociate yourself from it and look at it from just a purely objective and logical stance. With Dave Filoni has made it very abundantly clear he is not able to do. Ahsoka being the biggest red flag out there for that. George Lucas, the guy that invented Star Wars, said she should have died in Order 66. It would have made sense, but no, Dave Filoni has got to have her there. Heck, they had a great way to kill her off in Rebels. It was one of the most impactful scenes where she's finally facing Vader. And, the last time she saw Anakin was when she, they had the little spiff in the Clone Wars. And so now she's seeing him, but she's seeing him as Vader, and she finally has to come to terms with the fact that that Anakin is gone, and this is Vader. And she fights him, and, it doesn't show, but we're assumed to believe that Vader kills her because Vader leaves and she doesn't. So we assume Vader killed her. What does Dave Filoni do? We're just going to have, the world between worlds, and Edward is going to pull her out and bring her back and save her from Darth Vader at the last second. So goes out of his way over and over again to bring Ahsoka back. And it's like, at this point, it's like Weekend at Bernie's. Like, just let him die. Just let her die. There's two great ways for her to have a respectful, meaningful, impactful death, but you just keep bringing her back. And so, just it's so frustrating because it's like, my favorite character is Darth Vader. He is. He's my favorite Star Wars character. And I watched him die in Return of the Jedi, and I'm okay with it because that was the end of his story. He completed, his character arc and his redemption. I got to see how he became Darth Vader in the prequels. And so, that was the end of his story. If you bring him, all of a sudden you bring him back, that takes away from the impact of that moment, which is exactly what Dave Filoni does over and over again. So not only with, that, with the whole Ahsoka thing, and then you look at stuff like this with Tython, it's like, you really don't know what you're doing, do you? You're like, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. This is cool. And have you ever had a lot of people don't have kids anymore, but when I take my stepdaughter, she absolutely loves to go to, yogurt places. So the one that, when I go back to visit my mom, I take her to this place that I used to like to go to, which is a place called Yogurt Mill. And so at Yogurt Mill, you go, it was different from when I'm in high school. Last time I went there, I was like, what? It's like the self-serve now, and then you do all the toppings. And so I was kind of shocked by it because I was like, that's not the way it usually is. But so I took her there. She got to pick which yogurt, but then it's like a kid at a candy store, oh my God, I can have this yogurt, and I can have this yogurt, and I can have this yogurt. And then you go to the toppings, and you can have whatever toppings you want. You just pay the flat fee, and then you get to go have whatever you want. What is she doing? Gummy worms, Oreos, gumballs, like every single topping is on this. And it's like a kid in a candy store. It's like, this looks cool. I want this, but it's like, when you go and eat it, it's like the flavors don't mix, or there's just too much of everything. That's what Dave Filoni is doing right now. He's like a kid at a candy store. He's working with Jon Favreau. John's like, yeah, do whatever you want. We're going to do whatever. And so Dave Filoni's just like, let's do this, not thinking about the fact that, hey, this might not actually make sense. That all of those mixed together aren't going to produce the best flavor, So when I go, I just get either chocolate or vanilla, and I like to do, the little strawberry puree things on it. And I like that. I like the flavor, especially with vanilla, and it mixes just great. And so even though I'm like, oh yeah, I do like gummy bears, I do like gummy worms, I do like chocolate sprinkles, but all of those might not be the best on this other flavor that I picked. So it's like, this is cool, let's throw this in, even though it doesn't make sense, even though the lore expert got Tython wrong. It's not that hard. And again, I've never claimed to be like the biggest expert on Star Wars EU, but even I know this shit, you know? And again, it's a Google search away to know this stuff. So if you are going, like this comment says, you know, get every canon detail right, I expect them to get these things right. These, I don't think, are the biggest thing to ask for. I really don't. What are you talking about? No, it makes sense. All these things you're trying to say are plot holes, aren't plot holes when you think about it. What do you mean? I think that they're, world breaking. Captain Joker, thank you for another super chat. Okay, I'm drinking now. Have a super chat. Oh, well, thank you, Captain Joker. You do not need to send it. I'm kind of in my rant mode. It's just this episode was frustrating. I loved Baby Yoda. I loved him on the rock. I thought it was so cute. I don't think it's a smart decision at all. Again, I don't know why they wouldn't just have Ahsoka train. She's the best person for the job. She has seen what the dark side does to people. She lived through Order 66. She knew Anakin Skywalker because he trained her. She is the best person to teach a young little baby Yoda. She says, "Hey, I know Yoda. We communicated, so you know I know Yoda. I know you know Yoda because guess what? He's probably your fucking father because give me a break. You have Yoda and Yaddle. And they are two Jedi Masters at the Jedi Temple. There just happens to be a baby there. You got a male and a female of one of the rarest species in Star Wars, both at the same place, and there's a baby. Give me a fucking break. We know exactly where that baby came from. And then people are like, oh, but Yaddle died before Attack of the Clones. And it's like, yeah, but that was in EU. That's not Disney canon anymore, guys. But even then, guess what? Yaddle was still in The Phantom Menace. And guess what? Baby Yoda could have been born before The Phantom Menace. So it doesn't matter if she died in Attack of the Clones. It doesn't fucking matter. And everyone's like, oh, Baby Yoda's like older or, the same age as Anakin. I'm like, so yeah, Anakin in The Phantom Menace was 9 years old. So Baby Yoda could have been 9 years old in The Phantom Menace. Theory still stands. So Ahsoka, and even if, okay, so he started training her before Revenge of the Sith, right? After Attack of the Clones. She still would have known of the Jedi Master Yaddle because, again, one of the most rarest species in all of Star Wars, basically the leader of the entire Jedi Order, Yoda, and there just happened to be a female there that could have died right before. Wouldn't you think she would know that? I think so too. Again, I don't think that these are, things that can just be swept under the rug as, oh, Anna, that's just a nitpick. That's just a tiny plot hole. No, this is a really big problem. All you got to do is pay attention to this kind of stuff. It's not that hard. And again, this is just participation trophies. And I honestly, I think if it takes anyone out of it, I think it's a valid criticism. But you guys can let me know what you think. Did I see another super chat? And I apologize if I have missed any. I'm kind of like on my own little thing. My own little ranting mode. Because it's just so frustrating. Because I'm just sitting here and I'm like, why? Like, this is stuff that I could have told them when I was 12 years old. I'm in my 20s now. I could have told... heck, I could have told them this when I was 8 years old, when I was 5 years old, when I was little. I could have told them this kind of stuff. This is stuff I've known since I was a kid, a very young kid, younger than my stepdaughter is now. And it's just like, if I know this stuff, why don't the people in charge of Star Wars know this stuff? I don't think that's a hard thing to ask for. It's not a hard thing to ask for when you go to the hospital and the nurses, you got to get a shot for hepatitis and you ask the nurse, hey, what's hepatitis? And the nurse, if the nurse doesn't know what hepatitis is, I don't want that woman giving me a shot, or male nurse, whatever you want to be like that today. They need to explain to me what this vaccine is going to do before they're allowed to insert the needle into my body, if they can even hold me down, because I'm terrified of needles. But it's like, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. What do you guys think? What was wrong with Tython? Oh, you must be just getting here. I've been screaming about Tython since the stream started. Anyway. Anyways, let me pull this up over here and see if I did miss any super chats. And again, I apologize everyone if I did miss any. I'm kind of in ranting mode. I am supposed to be going on a live stream over on Jesse Milestone's channel at 2 p.m. So I don't think this is going to be a particularly long live stream. Let me see. Okay, yes, I did. I missed a few. So I apologize everything. G Funk Palace 1, thank you for super chat. Ahsoka is setting a trap. That doesn't explain Tython. It doesn't explain why this I'm supposed to believe is Tython. Blockhead, thank you for the super chat. That episode was dumb. 5 out of 10. Thanks a lot, Ahsoka. Great advice. Yeah. Corey Christensen, thank you for the super chat. It doesn't matter that it still was Saturday morning cartoon level production. Just goes to show that Disney isn't putting in the money. Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair to them, they lost a shit ton of money by not having, where is he? By not having Baby Yoda products ready for Christmas. That was stupid, and I think I just fucked up his stand. Okay. By not having Baby Yoda products ready for Christmas. They fucked themselves so hard in the ass. But so, still, you got this little guy. This little guy can make you fucking money and, you know, basically support the entire freaking show. Oh, my baby, look. And then he torches his head. So cute. And the toy thing, he's not as cute because he's got his, like, little teeth out. Just when he's got his little dippity, he looks so cute. So baby. And the other one has, like, lines around the ears because you can change out his ears. I'm like, no, I just want a baby. This is the most expensive baby doll I've ever bought. But I love him and I have no regrets. And I totally just fucked up his stand. Because I knocked it on the floor. But anyways, even Saturday morning cartoon stuff, you know, it's just... No, I don't call him Grogu. I call him Baby Yoda. I don't really like his name. Let's see. I think I'm all caught up on super chats now. But let's see. Zombie Licorice, thank you for the super chat. Did you see how fat Boba Fett has gotten? Yes, that was something that bothered me. I'm like, oh my god, it's dad bod Boba Fett. Where is it? Let me try to find it. When he's standing on a rock. I'm not even kidding. Me and Peaches were watching this episode and we both laughed. We're like, oh my god. And I get it. It's like, yes, he's older. He's got a bit of a dad bod. But still, it's like, you just got hired. Okay, it's going to be a little tricky. I'm going to take this off screen and then put it back on because I'm going to try to play it. Oh, shit, there's volume. Okay, let's turn that off. But it's like, you know you're coming back in Star Wars and you're going to get to be, you were Jango Fett, but now you're Boba Fett and you're going to get to be in the, okay, here we go. You're going to get to be in the Boba Fett armor and you didn't work out. It's like look, he's got a dad bod, which is okay. That happens when you get older. But, I mean, yeah. And then look at, like, the armor's coming off, and it's literally just, it looked great. And, you know, the 80s, like, 80, 83, looked great. 2020, not so much. Just saying. But, yeah, what do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think? I've never done this before, but if you guys would like, I have I just have to be over at Jesse's stream at 2 p.m. If you guys like, I can drop the link in the chat. And if you guys want to come on and tell me what you guys thought about the episode, I can do that. What do you think? Wait till you're 50? I know. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just like, you know, if you you know, if I was older and I found out that I was going to be in Star Wars again, I don't know. I mean, crunches, crunches mean a lot. Michael Roth, thank you for this. One thing I keep wondering with the new cartoons, and Mandalorian, where are all these post Order 66 Jedi coming from? Exactly. It takes away from the meaning and the impact of that if everyone just survived. Yes. Okay. I'm kind of worried, but I can try it. If I get trolls, I'm going to end the stream. That's not what I was doing. I explained very thoroughly my issues. I don't think it's a nitpick at all. Again, that's like saying we're going to go to Washington, D.C. and you go to Washington State. Very different things. Sam Dane, thank you for the super chat. Good day from Melbourne, Australia. It's great to see someone passionate about actual canon. Keep fighting the good fight, mate. More power to you. Oh, well, thank you. Let's see. TK, not at post. Thank you for the super chat. There were serious issues with these episodes, along with your points. Why didn't the Empire fire on Fett's ship? Good question. Also, why doesn't the Empire have shields? If the fucking rocket from a jetpack can take him out, like, come on. It's so frustrating. They destroyed Mando's ship from the atmosphere. Yep. And so this is the thing. I just kind of talk about the things that bothered me the most, and obviously other things can bother other people, more than it bothers me. Like my big thing is because I know about Tython and I know about like the whole lore behind the planet. That from the moment Ahsoka mentioned it was a big, red flag to me. Excuse me. Borg, thank you for that. What's your thoughts on Boba Fett? Who do you think is going to train Gogru? I think they're just trying to bring people in. They're just trying to get as many people in for, not to get old fans back in that were alienated by the sequel trilogy. But also I feel like at some level, I think Jon Favreau is trying to go and see like, oh, who can I include and get involved, with, and like bring back good spirits to it. I think it was a genuine, let's go call up, the dude that played Jango Fett and see if he would want to come back and play Boba Fett. Since, all that, because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they love Mandalorians. And so I think it was one of those heartfelt things that Jon Favreau really wanted to do by bringing in, that same actor to come play Boba Fett and to try to, build back the bridge, but that, was basically torn down and destroyed by, Disney wannabe sequel trilogy. And so I think that his heart was in the right place by bringing in Boba Fett. But execution, and it's one of those things like when you're a kid and you draw a picture for your your mom and your dad, and it's really sweet and there's a lot of thought and heart behind it because your kid drew you a picture. It doesn't look like the Sistine Chapel, but I mean, it's your kid and they drew you a picture, so it's like, oh my god, I'm going to treasure this for the rest of my life. And obviously it's not the best drawing in the entire world. I think that's what this was. It was Jon Favreau drew a picture for his, for his parents. It's like, look what I did for you. And it's like, oh, that's so sweet. That's like, oh, let's keep that. We'll put that on the fridge. I think that was the sentiment. Stop. No. Oh, I accidentally clicked play. I think that was the sentiment behind it. Let me see. I know a lot of people were saying yes, and then some people were saying no. Let's see. Let's see. Dairy Nitpicker, thank you for the super chat. Oh, Dairy Nitpicker. I agree 100%, but was still a fan of the episode. I just hope it was a robe that gave Baby Yoda, or that gave Boba a dead bod. Yeah, I mean, that could be it. Maybe it's just like he put the armor on over his thing, but I mean, I hope they fix the paint job. I think that it's a little bit too chipped. It's just one of those things that it did look a lot better in 1980. Okay, so I realized I didn't even really talk too much about this episode because I was hooked on Tython. So they're bringing what's his face back, that comedian. So then we get onto the ship. Oh, another thing. This one people are really going to be like, isn't it big? But I'm like, okay, I know it's a different class of Star Destroyer. This is a really tiny bridge for a Star Destroyer. And how everyone was saying this looks like it's a fan film, it really does look like it's a fan film because I was on the set for Star Wars Theories fan film, for the Darth Vader fan film that he did. And this honestly looks a lot like that set. It was in a studio and they had, they had the floor, they had the walls built up, and literally the cutout for the windows were just like this. This is so similar to Star Wars Theories fan film. It's scary. And being on set and seeing that and then watching this, and then if you watch this in comparison with Star Wars Theories fan film, they're right on par. I think the special effects in Star Wars Theories are a bit better though, and the lighting as well. But this is like fan film level of set for the bridge of a Star Destroyer. Why is it so small? You go and you look at yes, okay, different class of ship, I get it, but go look at the way that it looked for Vader in the fucking 80s, and then look at this. It's like, come on, you like just put up a fucking green screen at that point and have him walk around and just put it all in. I feel like that would save you some time and money and actually make it look more legit. But okay, so then we go in here. We see Baby Yoda using the Force because he's protecting himself. And he's on his little head and he's going like this. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's so cute. If it was just a show about Baby Yoda doing these things, I would watch it all day. I could sit there and have that on repeat all day and I wouldn't even care. Because it's so cute. And he's using the Force. He gets tired. He gets so tired. Look at him, he's so little. Look at the little baby. And he's falling over because he's like, no, don't hurt me. And he's protecting himself and he's going to stormtroopers. And then the bad guy comes in and he's just like all smiling. And it's Gus from Breaking Bad. And then he's talking to Baby Yoda and he's like, have you seen this? Have you seen the lightsaber? The dark saber? And Baby Yoda wants to go touch it. And he's just like, baby, I know give you a weapon. But Baby's like, let me touch it. Let me touch it. I want to touch the dark saber. And it's like, Baby Yoda, come on, you know better. You know better, but he knows what the lightsaber is, and Baby Yoda knows. He's like, I'm gonna take this lightsaber from you, and I'm gonna fucking kill you. And I'm like, oh, yay, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda is so cute. It's so cute. Ew. And then they shoot him with the ray gun, and he falls asleep. And he even talks about how it's just like, oh, he's tired because he uses so much energy to protect himself, and it's like, oh, the Baby Yoda. I love him so much. I love him so much. But one thing I will say is those you don't know, I like to paint pictures. And let me tell you, it is hard to find high quality pictures of stormtroopers out there. So what I usually do is I look on Instagram at cosplayers. The lighting on these guys is absolutely fantastic, and it's given me a ton of reference images. So I have been painting, let me get it. So I have been painting like stuff like droids like R2-D2. And so my next one after R2-D2 is going to be General Grievous. And then because I want to do like just like the armor and the helmets, and because I paint a lot of organic material like, humans and stuff. So I wanted to get a little bit more in, practice painting hard surfaces. I will say that, if I can say good positive things about The Mandalorian, beautiful images for me to look at of stormtroopers and other characters in there. But yeah, it like just look at the lighting on that. It's such good reference. And ew, he's so cute. He got little handcuffs. He's sleeping and they put little handcuffs on him and his little eon is, oh my god, it's so cute. They don't even give him a pillow. They don't give him a pillow. They don't give him a blanket. They just leave him there in his little jacket. And he's got little mini handcuffs on him. Could you imagine how little those are? Just so little. And it's just for him. And it's like, oh my god. It's so cute. But that fucker shot him. So, you beat me. And then, oh yeah, this episode was written by Jon Favreau. So I know I've been yelling at Dave Filoni, but still, they work together. Jon Favreau should have known this shit too. But anyway, he didn't even try to shoot them and catch Baby Yoda. It's so frustrating. But anyways, what did everyone else think about this episode? Malin was right the whole time. Henry Cavill should be Grand. No. Grand Admiral Thrawn doesn't exactly have that kind of body type. And then I've been saying the way that I picture Thrawn, like his face, I picture him to look like John Hamm from Mad Men. Like just like the way that he has the thin lips and his like face. People said, "Oh no, Anna, he's like too happy. He can't do the voice." And I'm like, "Well, he's an actor. Let him act that way. Let him prove that he can do that voice, you know?" I think John Hamm is the right age as well. I think John Hamm would be perfect to play Grand Admiral Thrawn. I think he like looks like that. And the way that they cast Rosario Dawson because she looks like Ahsoka. You know, ever since the freaking Clone Wars came out back in the 2000s, she's always looked, or Ahsoka's always looked like Rosario Dawson. So I thought it was smart that they cast Rosario Dawson. And so the way that they presented Thrawn, John Hamm looks like Thrawn, or Thrawn looks like John Hamm. I think John Hamm, and the way that John Hamm, like the way he's able to control the room in Mad Men, he'd be perfect. Pelion, that's up in the air. I don't know who we would get to play Pelion. I saw, oh my God, what is the actor's name? I'm blanking on his name. He played Alan Grant in oh my God, Jurassic Park. What's that actor's name? Fuck. He also, I binge watched The Tudors because everyone's like, Henry Cavill's in every episode, and I watched it and I was like, oh, it's not Henry Cavill though. I mean, it is Henry Cavill, but I'm like, I like, you know, Superman, Witcher, Henry Cavill. He's still a little young in that for me. But oh my God, though, Alan Grant in the first season of The Tudors was great. He was my favorite episode, or he was my favorite character in the show. I don't like Benjamin Cumberbatch's Thrawn. Sam Neill, thank you. I think he would be perfect for. Oh, actually, somebody said that, and for a while I was thinking he would be perfect, but like I'm still like on the fence. Like, yeah, he could do a good job. Yeah, you know what? The more I think about it, I think he would be great as Pelion. Sam Neill isn't everything. He really is, but you know, Alan Grant, come on. I don't watch the new Westworld, so I see somebody saying that, but yeah, I don't. I watched the movie Westworld, the old movie. That was great. I can't stand the lead actress in the new Westworld, so I just don't even watch it. I was drawn in because it was like, ooh, Anthony Hopkins, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Let's see. Let me update this. Let me see if there's any super chats. Let's see. Nope. I'm all caught up. Cool beans. Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen was already in Star Wars. And I think I know this might be a little weird description. His face is a little too round. You know, I feel like Thrawn has a little bit of a longer face, at least the way that every depiction I've seen him in. And so yeah. And guys, also with Benjamin Cumberbatch, I don't even think, what is he working on? Let me take a look at his IMDb real fast. Actually, I'm going to pull it up right here. And I keep saying Benjamin, it's Benedict, right? I always get that wrong. Everyone's always like, it's the wrong name. And I'm like, fuck, it's Ben. I'll start calling him Ben. What is he working on right now? What's he got in production? Pre-production, so Doctor Strange, Multiverse Madness, entitled Spider-Man sequel, Lois, Power Dog. Okay, so this is all 2021. I have a feeling they already have somebody cast for Thrawn if they mentioned it. So he's going to be doing Doctor Strange. What is John Hamm working on? Rio. Is that bird movie again? Rogue Male? Magic? Let's see. What is John Hamm working on? What has he got going on? So hard to type with these things. All right, what's he working on? Mad Men was in 2007. Jeez, that was a long time ago. Let's see. When they have credits for this already? Well, let's see. What's he doing in 2020? Medical Police, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Unbreakable Kill. That's still on. I love that. He's the Reverend in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I remember Sab made me watch it, and it was so funny. When he finally showed up, I was like, oh my god. I was not expecting that. Sarah Cooper, home movie, The Princess Bride. Oh yeah, I remember that. Wild Mountain theme, Top Gun. He's in Top Gun Maverick. Ooh, this movie just got a lot better. No, that's gonna be cool seeing him alongside Tom Cruise. Off season, Confess Fletch, Alpha Gang. I don't even know what any of these are except for this one, but all right. Let's see. Well, I'm surprised they're able to keep these things secret. But so it looks like they're both working. I don't know what, because also you got to take into factor how much of a budget they have to get these actors, even though it's like Disney's got unlimited budget, but obviously they didn't for this episode. But Papa Smurf for Thrawn, oh my. Yeah, I know I'm saying the name wrong, but I don't know. He looks like Thrawn. He would be so great as Thrawn. So that would be something I would like. Yes, I talked about that a little bit earlier in this live stream. Let's see how this is pod racing. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on this episode. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't know if I'm gonna leave this live stream up. I probably won't. I'm probably just re-upload it onto my secondary channel, that's Star Wars Girl Live, and maybe clip this and put in, my little rants on stuff and leave that up as up on the channel. But everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be going live with Jessie over on her channel, Mindless Entertainment, at 2 p.m. So in almost like 31 minutes, I will be over on that channel. And yeah, I think that's all for today. So everyone, thank you so much for being here, and let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments of this video. Go ahead and smash the like button, and until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone.
I'll tell you where I thought I came in the forest, when the lightsaber goes like this and flies off. I said, oh, what a great entrance. Ah! Ray caught it? She hasn't even been to Dagobah for training.